Good morning, colleagues.
Hi, Farangai.
Hello, how are you?
Doing fine. We're all set with Mark. We've done the testing on the various channels. Tina, the captioner, is all set as well. So just waiting for people to join so we can start.
Yeah, good to go. Great. How's my sound check, Enoch? I'm good?
It's good.
Because my video is also.
Yes.
Great, yeah. Sorry for joining in late. I was having some issues, but it's good I'm here. I see everyone is here, so James, you're good to go, right?
Yes, Farangai, I'm good to go.
Great. All right, so in that case, let me just switch off my video and wait for a few more minutes. I think we should go live in the next 5 minutes or so.
Let me know when you want me to start the walk-in music.
Recording in progress.
Hi, Mr. Key.
Hi, Johanna. Hi, everyone. Sorry for joining a bit late.
Hi, Mitch.
Everyone, all good to go?
Yes, all good to go. We just we have done pretty much all the testing. It's just waiting for the time now. So many thanks to the team. I think very efficient planning and sorts. But
Okay, I'm going to start the walking music, if that's okay with the holding slide. Thumbs up.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great. I think we can get started. Greetings, colleagues. I hope you can hear me clearly from wherever you are joining us from. And compliments of the new year or compliments of the new season. In fact, I was wondering today if it was still appropriate to still say Happy New Year. And a friend of mine just told me that it's still okay as long as we are still in January. So once again, compliments of the new season and wishing you a great and successful year ahead. My name is Verengai Mabika, and I'm Senior Policy Advisor for Africa with the Internet Society. And my role today is just to give the welcome remarks for this session, and also just to give a bit of background on why we are having these sessions and probably some objectives and some reflections from what we had in the last two sessions. So today marks the first session of the Africa CN Virtual Series for the year 2022, but this one is actually the third in the series of our 2021 to 2022 series. In fact, we had 3 sessions in the 2021 to 2022 series, and just to reflect back and remind some of you who were there and some colleagues who were not able to attend. In the first session, we was held on the 28th of July in 2021, and the session focused on essential tools and resources for community networks. In this session, our speakers and panelists presented some interesting tools and resources that CNs could use in their different stages and processes, especially from the setting up of a CN, the operational aspects. And we also had our partner organizations, APC and Internet Society, sharing some regulatory and policy updates happening in the space in our region in Africa. So it was an interesting session, which also looked at some opportunities and challenges that CNs were facing, and suggested some tools that those CNs could still use to address some of those issues. In the second session for the series, planned on the 27th of October, 2021, and it looked at more specifically on the strategies and tools for community networks monitoring. In this time around, we're getting closer to the technicalities and managing of CN, especially from a technical point of view. And in this session, explored some interesting tools for implementing network monitoring for CNs. We had our partner CNs sharing some of those tools that they are currently using and how effective those use could be used for different things, such as monitoring bandwidth, usage, looking at the network health and also performance. So these were the first two that we had in the series, and today we'll be looking at building solutions for community networks, which is the third session for this series. And I'm hoping colleagues are going to find this as useful, and this will sort of close this particular series, the 2021-2022 series. And possibly we may decide after this session today if we want to continue, and we'll be sure to see if there is need for us to continue with these sessions, and on how regular we may want the sessions. Primarily from the perspective of the organizing partners, Internet Society and APC. our aim really is to promote the creation and growth of the CN or community networks movement in Africa. And we believe that through this collaboration, we can get our communities to to learn and engage with each other, and also even share some ideas. So we hope that this spirit and purpose of these virtual sessions continues, and possibly will get out of all the discussions that we have. So this moderator, just to bring one poll, just to check if what you colleagues would love to do, would love to connect after this session. So Joanna, if you can help me put up the first poll. Please, can you just answer this poll, and we'll be sharing some results shortly. I'll give you about 30 seconds. So please, let's get voting, and let's see how it goes. Ten seconds left. Right. I see some, okay, I see some are still, Joanna, I think we can share the results. Let's see how the results are like, and briefly talk about the results. Great. So these are the results. Can you guys see the results? Just by show of hands.
About to ask.
So 35% believe. Okay. So the results are right on the screen, right? On my screen, I can see the results. So I'm not sure if all colleagues are able to see these results. But anyway, let me share what I'm seeing here. 35% of you colleagues think that we should continue with our virtual sessions, online sessions, and 40% believe that we should do an in-person event, and 25% that believe that we can combine virtual and in-person event. So these are the results. We'll be using these results again together with the rest of the other polls that we'll be running. So I think these are very interesting results that possibly gives us an idea of what colleagues are thinking about the future of these sessions, and hoping that the situation with regards to COVID-19 improves. I think it may be necessary and for the community to be meeting in person. So as the year progresses, I think things may improve, and we may need to start thinking about how to probably combine either virtual and in-person events. So at this point, thank you very much, colleagues. And at this point, I'll hand over to my colleague, James, who is the main moderator for this event today. Just to give a brief bio of James. James Gondwe is the founding director of Center for Youth and Development, CYD, a local NGO development based in Malawi. And he is a human rights activist focused on rights of children, youths, and women, and a seasoned development specialist with over 10 years experience managing community development programs, and an ICT enthusiast and the internet access rights activist. At CYD, he is responsible for overall strategy direction, oversight management, scoping, and resource mobilization. So over to you, James, and wishing you a great event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Verengai, for the introduction. Hello, everyone, wherever you're joining us from. I would like to formally welcome you to this session. This session is themed Community Networks webinar series. It's a session number 3 in the year 2021 to the year 2022. And in this session, we are focusing on building solutions for community networks. And to get us started, let's go through some house rules and how best you can engage with the session. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be made available after the session. It is also being streamed live on social media, that's Facebook, Twitch, and Vimeo. And please do engage respectfully and responsibly. When asking questions or speaking, please keep it short, straight to the point, and simple. Kindly format your questions with your first name and country. So for instance, I would say, my name is James Gondwe from Malawi, and then I would follow up with a question, or you'd say, I'm Emily from Ethiopia, and then you follow up with a question or a comment. Please do get familiar with the Internet Society's Code of Conduct. The link has been shared in the group, so please check out the link. Do read through the Code of Conduct. In terms of how you can engage with the session, there are multiple ways. Number one, you can engage with the session through social media. So please do, whenever you're posting on social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, do tag us. So use hashtags community networks or hashtag switch it on. Hashtags community networks and hashtag switch it on. Use those. In terms of interpretation, we do have languages that are supported. So English and French is supported. And please do go to the language function within the Zoom call. Under interpretation there, click there, and then choose the language that you want to listen to. So if you want to listen to French, click on French. If you want to listen to English, do click on English. Captioning is also available in English. So you'll be able to see what I'm saying down there on the call. In terms of engaging as well, you can be able to engage with us through the chat room. So it's available for all attendees. And please do post in anything that you want to chat with others. So whether it's a question or it's a comment. And if you want to say something, please do raise your hand. And I think throughout the call, we have also made points where we'll be able to provide opportunities for people to be able to comment and also ask questions. So once we provide that opportunity, please do raise your hand, and then we're going to actually give you a space to speak. And if you've got a question, as I've mentioned, please do post it in the chat function. So there is a chat function down there, and then there is also a raise your hand option. If you can't see it, please go to the 3 buttons. There's 3 dots on the more. There is more down there. Click there. You should be able to see the chat, and then you should also see the option for you to be able to raise your hand. So this session has been organized in recognition of the impact that community networks are creating in Africa, but also across the globe. These networks have become instrumental in addressing challenges to do with connectivity. And since they become so important, we all need to come up with efforts to ensuring that the community networks are sustainable, they're able to continue with their services. And effective billing is one area that can help to ensure that community networks are able to be sustainable and are able to continue providing this important service. So overall, the session today is going to discuss how community networks, community network billing tools, solutions, and how community networks operators could address any shortcomings in this sector. And we hope that by the end of this session, we should be able to answer the following questions. Number one, why is billing infrastructure essential for sustainability of community networks? And number 2, we're going to look at what billing tools are popularly used and why. And then what are the challenges and shortcomings with regards to billing to billing in our community networks. So to help us answer these questions, we've got a panel of 3 speakers. we've got Barrack Otieno. So Barrack is joining us from AHERI Community Network in Kenya. And then we also have got Heiko Rehm. Heiko Rehm is going to make a presentation, specifically sharing with us the Splinks bidding solution. So it's coming from PYRAMITE. And then we also have got Stephen Fosu. Stephen Fosu is joining us from Step Network from Ghana. So everyone, to get started with our session, I'll be inviting Barrack Otieno from AHERI Community Network in Kenya. And before that, let me provide a short profile as to who Barrack Otieno is. So Barrack Otieno is the director at the Africa Higher Education Research Institute, in short AHERI, which operates a community network in the western part of Kenya. And Barrack is a trustee at the Kenya ICT Action Network. He is a Management Information System graduate of the Multimedia University of Kenya, of the Internet Governance Forum in Geneva, Switzerland, as a fellow and as well as a consultant between the years 2010 to 2011. And he was involved in the preparation of the 5th and 6th Internet Governance Forum, forums in Vilnius in Lithuania and Nairobi. He was also a Commonwealth Fellow to the 4th Internet Governance Forum in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt in 2009. In addition, he has also been part of the organizing teams of Kenya, East African, and African Internet Governance Forums. For the last 10 years, Otieno also serves as the General Manager of Africa Domains Organization, the Regional Association of Country Code Top-Level Domain Registries, and he was the founding president of the Internet Society Kenya chapter, the former Secretariat of African Regional at Large Organization, the voice of Internet users from the African continent within the Internet Corporation for the assigned names and numbers. So please let us welcome Barrack as he makes the presentation, as he shares to us the bidding solutions that probably they're using at AHERI, but also the lessons and insights that I've been able to learn so far. Barrack, it's your time now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for that particular introduction. And good afternoon, colleagues. I'm happy to see new and old faces or new and old colleagues in the meeting. And without further ado, I will start. Probably let me just see if I can share my presentation. I have prepared 2 or 3 slides that I would like to share as we discuss. But most of my intervention will just be based on the experiences that we have had. All right. Can I share my screen, James?
Barrack, you should be able to share your screen.
Sorry, I'll start by quickly introducing the community network. So AHERI actually stands for Africa Higher Education Research Institute. And as the moderator has presented, we run a community network in the western part of Kenya that also has some digital villages as part of the offering to the community. And we've been able to come this far thanks to support from the Internet Society, among other partners. And we are glad to really share some of the lessons that we have learned and the experiences that we have gained as we have been building or growing the community network. So I'll just do a quick introduction, and then I will quickly speak about the billing solution. So AHERI operates in an ecosystem. Africa Higher Education Research Institute started as a project under community initiative support services, but is now a fully fledged non-governmental organization, which has equally birthed a technology subsidiary, AHERI Basic Internet or AHERINet. This is important because from the onset, Africa Higher Education Research Institute did not start off as a technology organization, but ventured into community networks as a result of a presentation that was made in one of its conferences sometime in 2019, which leads to point number 2. What AHERI does is to host annual conferences that seek to promote research in higher education and promote the use of results in decision-making at an institutional and systemic level. You can learn more about AHERI on the website that is pointed through the URL that is displayed there. Again, Community Initiative Support Services, on the other hand, is a non-profit organization engaged in community development, focusing on food security, environmental management, economic empowerment, and preventive health for the last 30 years. The organization works with 200 women and youth groups in 3 counties in Western Kenya. That is Kisumu County, Homa Bay County, and Siaya County. It also has 3 community centers, which currently are digital villages. When I say a digital village, it means that we have provided infrastructure at the community centers for accessing the internet, and we have provided devices at the same community centers that community members can use to access the internet and other digital services. You can read more about the organization, about community initiative services, Community Initiative Support Services on the website www.ciskisumu.org, which I have presented there. In terms of the community networks initiatives that we have been running, in summary, the community network started in 2019, and I must point out that the first thing that we did was to develop a business plan for the community network, or what we wanted to do. Through the business plan, we were able to define what we wanted to do, and also we were able to define the products and services that the community network would then offer or provide to the community. Again, we were able to do this thanks to knowledge or information that we gained from the Building Wireless Community Networks course that was offered by the Internet Society, and which I believe should be resuming sometime this year. I'm saying that because a business plan is key even before we speak about a business plan is key even before we start talking about the billing platform. So basically, we have been implementing the Digital Villages and Community Networks project in partnership with the Basic Internet Foundation and the Internet Society since 2019. You can read more about the work that we have done on our website and the Facebook page that is listed there. It's also worth noting that our growth has been accelerated partially because of the COVID-19 pandemic that also raised or grew demand for internet products and services. You can read more on the website so that I don't belabor the point on what we've been able to do on the community network. Other than the community network, which is basically made up of 50, we've connected 50 independent schools and also a hub and spoke network that is providing network connectivity to the community, as well as public hotspots in different parts of the community. We currently are providing connectivity or offering connectivity to close to 30,000 community members, which is a significant growth. And as such, we've had to ensure that all our operations are automated, including billing. And that's the reason why today we are discussing the billing, or rather, we are discussing billing as a subject in this particular conversation. But before I move into the billing conversation, just a snapshot of some of the public hotspots that we've been able to deploy, and just a picture showing usage of the same. One of the things we have realized is that to provide meaningful connectivity to the community, there has to be a way of ensuring that we are able to meet our bills or meet our costs. The only way that we can be able to sustainably meet some of these bills and costs is by first understanding where are we incurring expenses, and for instance, what are some of the bills that we need to be able to pay for? Otherwise, it is unsustainable to be able to run or to operate any community network. Hence the conversation around billing that we are having today. So we identified a need for our billing platform from the onset. We developed or built a bespoke billing platform using WHMCS, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with. WHMCS is used mostly within the domain registry business, or among domain registrars, to automate how registrants acquire or purchase their domain names. So we noticed that this is one of the platforms that is fairly easy to customize, depending on the products or services that the community network is offering. And with the support of other players who are already existing in the space, we were able to customize a solution for us. Again, worth noting that the billing platform largely focuses on the products and services that are provided, and it also supports various mobile platforms. Also, worth noting that in our area of operation, many people prefer using their mobile phones to make payments or to trade, for lack of a better word. And so we had to ensure that the billing platform that we chose had to integrate with the majority of the mobile platforms, for lack of a better word, that are commonly used to pay for goods and services. So this is one of the critical areas that was worth noting. And as it is, getting the billing platform was one thing, but support or continued maintenance for the billing platform was another thing. So again, we had to look internally, and we realized that we did not have the requisite capacity to be able to maintain the billing platform ourselves. And so as such, our approach was a partnership with a software developing firm or colleagues who would then focus on day-to-day business of ensuring that the billing platform is actually working, troubleshooting and everything, while we focused on providing connectivity to the community. So as a start, those are the key points that I think I would want to raise just to kick off the conversation. I know colleagues Heiko are going to come up and delve into detail on the structure of billing platform, but those are the opening remarks that I would wish to make. I'll come back at some point just to touch on any other issues that will arise as we move along. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much, Barrack, for that insightful and very informative presentation. I would like to really engage all the participants, all the attendees, to make sure that you are able to engage with the session through social media, but also through the chat room. Please do post in the chat room if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, or if you just want to post anything or a comment on what the presenters already presented. And as I've mentioned, there is also a point in time that will be able to provide an opportunity for all of us to actually discuss. So at this point, I would like to invite the second speaker. And the second speaker this afternoon is Stephen Fosu. Stephen Fosu is from Step Network in Ghana. and he is a telecommunications engineer with close to a decade of work experience in both the public but also the private sectors of Ghana. Currently, Stephen is the head of IT at the Presbyterian Hospital in Donkorkrom, a remote community in the eastern region of Ghana. He is leading the development of technical and innovative solutions towards transforming the operations of the center. Additionally, Stephen is a co-founder of Step Network, which is a technology-based company which specializes in building community networks and promoting digital accessibility and literacy in rural areas. His background as a CCNA engineer with proven skills in Linux servers, Windows, cybersecurity has resulted in the development of very affordable and safe networks for many rural-based facilities like the Samureboyi Community Network. He holds a degree in telecommunications engineering, a diploma in computer network management, and additional professional certifications from CCNA. At this point in time, I hand over to Stephen Fosu for his presentation. Stephen, your turn.
Thank you very much, James. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are now. Happy New Year to everyone on this platform. My name is Stephen Fosu, co-founder of Step Network. I will go straight to present our experiences, implementation of some billing solution for community networks, and the advantage and disadvantage. Community network billing solutions are any system designed to simply generate invoice for products and services rendered to users. Community network billing solution can be on premises or cloud-based. I will tackle on a few of them. Types of billing solution. Atamedia. Atamedia is a complete ISP or Wi-Fi billing solution for community networks. It has been around since 2001. It is the most feature-rich billing software for a community network. Another one I will also talk about is True Cafe. It's another great billing solution for community networks. It has a great feature for billing users. WIOS is a cloud-based billing system for Wi-Fi hotspots. Advantages of using these billing solutions. They are very easy to install because most of them are Windows operating system based and they are cloud based, so you don't need to do much to it. They manage bandwidth, download, and upload. They also accept credit card or payment gateway, example, PayPal. They help create users or tickets with custom Ethernet plans. They have a web self-care user portal where a user can see his or her usage of service and make payments. Advantages of these billing solutions. Cost. These solutions are ranging from $99 to $499, some even to $800, depending on the number of users and devices connecting concurrently. Most do not support multi-vendor captive portal, especially the cloud-based billing solutions. Most cloud-based billing solutions support microtech routers, and they do not support other vendors. Delay in technical support. Due to geographical location, if the billing solution is developed, let's say in China or Europe, and time differences, it might be a day or it might be a night over there, and then maybe you have a technical support and you will send an email. It may take a longer time for them to respond to you. So you need to wait till they respond. That's another challenge that faces using this billing solution. Summerboy Community Network Billing Solution. Looking at the cost involved in the above billing solution, most community networks in Africa do not have the money to purchase these solutions, and because including STEP network or some other community network. So because of that, we decided to develop our own billing solution. It is a simple web-based app developed by STEP network, that's Peter and I. It is hosted locally and can also be accessed remotely. The technology being used is PHP. How it works. Yep. When a user connects to our network, either cable or wireless means, the billing app pop-ups using a web browser. So the moment the person connects to our network, this is the first landing page that the person will see. So the user visits the web page and initiates. So for example, if the user comes here or see the first the landing page, you will come here to the page and initiate payment process by clicking on a voucher value, either 2 cedis or 5 cedis. A user will be prompt to enter their mobile phone number. So the user will submit. After submitting, the user gets directed to a page to make payment. So the user enters a phone number and a one-time password code is sent to the provided number. The user verify it and then confirms a payment. So you just confirm the payment. The user gets redirected after the confirmation to a success page where we check if the transaction is successful and then return a code for the appropriate voucher bought. So this is how simple our billing solution works. In addition to that, the landing page also comes with a help support feature, which enables users to contact their team whenever they encounter difficulties while using the app. So you just enter the username, email, and their phone number if he has any issue with us, with using the app. Benefit of our billing solution. With the billing solution, users can sit comfortably at home to make voucher purchase. And because it's accessible online, people can purchase voucher anywhere for a user on the network. Another thing is it also enables us to know which vouchers users buy most for market analysis. Challenge. They need to upload the vouchers anytime it finishes. Currently, we have to generate the vouchers from PFCs and upload them on the app. However, we are working towards it. We are working towards updating it to automatically detect voucher reduction and upload on its own. So far, this is our billing solution, and we hope to add more features to it, especially for our dedicated users that will send invoices and a self-care portal for them to change or add a plan and make payments. I'll end here and take questions. Thank you, James.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for that wonderful and insightful presentation as well. This for all attendees, I would like to provide time for quick reflections and questions. If you've got any questions, you can be able to send that in the chat. I would like us to engage for about 5 minutes or so into discussion, and then later on we'll also provide another option for us to also engage. So if you've got any questions at this point, please do post them in the chat, or if you'd like to speak or ask a question, please do raise your hand, and then we'll provide you with that opportunity. So to get started, there is already a question from Michael Jensen in the chat. Michael Jensen directs the question to Stephen. So he says, Stephen, how will the system work where there is no mobile coverage? I cannot use mobile phone or number for the code. How can that work? That's the first question from Michael Jensen.
Okay, where there's no mobile, let's say there's no mobile service there. We develop it to suit ourselves. So in case somebody also wants it and then we facing these challenges, we will find a solution or have a way that the people can make payment and without, necessary entry their phone numbers to receive. It can also be in such a way that we can have a user portal where if we make the donation or whatever, or make payment, the voucher that is generated for the user, he or she can see it over there and then just continue with the service.
Hello, James.
Oh.
Yes, I have a question. This is Victor from Ghana.
Yes, Victor, go ahead. Ask the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Steve, for your wonderful, insightful presentation. I'm associated with your network, and I commend you for the brilliant work that you are doing in Summer Boy. Just a quick one. I want to find out, in Summer Boy is a very remote community, so the digital literacy is a bit poor. How do the community people, how are they able to engage in this service, noting that they have very low literacy skills? How are they able to navigate their way around accessing this billing service?
Steve, over to you.
You have a little, Victor, can you come again with the question?
Yes, I'm saying that noting the digital illiteracy within that enclave where the Summer Boy community network is operating, I'm wondering how the community members are able to navigate their way around this billing solution and access the service. I don't know whether I'm clear.
Yeah. Thank you very much. As I was presenting, I did mention that the network is open. That's an open Wi-Fi. So what happens is that when a user connects, whether using cable or wireless means, any device that the person uses, what happens is that the billing app pops up first. That's the first thing that flashes on the screen for the person to continue using the service. So when it flashes up, the person have no alternative way to browse the internet than to make the payment before he can have access to the internet, unless the person has the code already. That maybe you can just click on the login and then put in the generated voucher that he or she can use. So it's not, they don't face much challenges as the time we deployed last year around October. We have not had any challenges, and though there are challenges, maybe people don't know how to go about it, and the support, that's the chat that we integrated, it has really helped us for people to lodge a complaint when they are finding difficult with the app. But so far, what's happened is that the first thing that you see when you connect to the network is the billing app. That's the first thing that you see.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. I would like to allow Barrack to respond. But Barrack, I'm giving you a chance to also speak on the conversation that already started. Your time, Barrack.
Thank you very much, James. As the conversation evolves, I think it would be imperative that we shape it into two perspectives. There's the community network operators perspective, And there's the user perspective, which has just been asked by the speaker who asked the last question. From a community network perspective, the challenge that comes to the community network, like initially when we started, we were not charging or we were not billing, but community members came to us who said, how can we pay for the service that you are offering? And the question we asked ourselves is, which service are we talking about? Because now we realize that there are community members who have different economic empowerments. There are those who can be able to pay $10 a month. There are those who can be able to pay $20 a month. There are those who can be able to pay $100 a month. So how then do you create an environment that accommodates all these community members? So that first of all meant identifying the products and services that need to be provided to the community. Community networks are sensitive because no one part of the community is the same as the other. In our case, we are operating in a rural area where income is fairly low, for lack of a better word. You find that someone would rather give you chicken or someone would rather give you maize as opposed to give you money because money is scarce. But in some places, you find that money is not a challenge or money is not a problem. So all this need to be taken into consideration when the billing platform is being developed. The other issue from a community network perspective that came into the fore is the question of which technology are we going to use? Are we using technology that we can be able to support or for which support is readily available? And in our case, we opted for WHMCS because inevitably, as a community network, one of the products or services is domain names, and we need a domain name platform. And we realize that most of these platforms are also using WHMCS. And also there's a lot of knowledge and support at community level that can be able to configure this platform. Having said that, my colleague has also presented a different platform that they used based on the competencies that they have internally. The other issue is, how does the billing platform then communicate with our clients or the end users? In our case, the WHMCS is linked to an SMS gateway, which normally sends messages to clients. But again, there was the issue of spamming because some of these SMS gateways are viewed as spam when the text messages or the SMSs come to the client end. And as such, you then need, for lack of a better word, a sender ID from all the mobile operators so that your SMS cannot be treated as spam. So what we are seeing is the choice of billing platform has to be able to integrate with a multitude of other systems if you are able to serve the community in a better way. Interestingly, there are community members that would rather receive an email instead of an SMS because probably they don't have time to look at SMS. So again, this has to be integrated into the billing platform. And last but not least, the other point that I made, payment modalities. There are community members that prefer coming to give you cash. There are community members that would prefer to deposit money in a bank. There are community members that would prefer to pay using mobile money. There are community members that would prefer to pay using a card. And so the billing platform as well has to take into consideration some of these varied or different payment modalities. Otherwise, you find yourself in a place where probably you are unable to receive payment from community members because the billing platform or billing system does not support that. So these are probably additional points that I would like to bring to the fore, but just emphasizing that we can look at this conversation on billing from the community network organizational perspective and also from the community perspective. As I conclude, in some cases, we also have a billing platform where in the case where someone, for instance, is unable to use mobile money, you can be able to provide vouchers which can be redeemed in numerous ways. Either it could be by cash money or in many other ways, and then community members can use them to access the internet. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much, Barrack, and thank you so much for Stephen for responding to the questions. I recognize that there are multiple questions in the chat room. I would like to engage, to encourage, the speakers, but also the attendees to engage there while we continue with the program. Later, we also have got more time that is going to be allocated towards these discussions. So probably the speakers will be able to respond to more of these questions at that point. At this point, I would like us to continue. And we'll continue with a follow-up poll. We've been having these virtual sessions for some time, and we would like to really learn from you and hear from you as well in terms of how do we proceed? What should we focus on in terms of future events? So the poll that has come up is what areas, topics would you love to learn about in the next virtual session? What areas, topics would you love to learn about in the next virtual session? So there are about 3 options there: financial sustainability, number 2 is technical considerations and operational, and then the 3rd one is governance and strategic organizational structures. So please tick one, and then that is going to inform the summit organizing committee in terms of what we should focus on in the future summits, future webinars, or future events. Allocating about now, if I can allocate about 30 seconds for the poll. Down to 15 now. Five. 1. I think that should be it. I think we've all been able to respond to the poll. Waiting for the results. Great. So in terms of the results, from what I can be able to see on my screen, 60% of the attendees today are saying they would want to learn about financial sustainability. And then 57% are saying they would want to learn about governance and strategic organizational structures. And then another 40% are saying they would want to learn about technical considerations and operations. That's about the poll. Thank you so much for taking the time to respond to the poll. This is going to inform the organizing committee in terms of what we should focus on in terms of the future events, whether it's going to be in person or it's going to be a webinar as this one, but it's going to inform us on that. To continue with our session today, I would like to invite the 3rd speaker, and this speaker is Heiko Rehm. So Heiko is from PYRAMITE Limited, and a bit about his profile is that Heiko is a network enthusiast and founder of PYRAMITE Limited, and he has been active well over 20 years in the connectivity technologies related to the expansion of the internet. And as one of the initial internet users, he was always fascinated by the underlying technologies and protocols of the Internet Foundation, and has since been involved in countless projects to move the internet further out to less dense areas of the world. His core competencies comprise common internet protocols, and with that, he was involved in establishing multiple ISPs in Africa, of which some grew to very respectable sizes. His knowledge and certifications in different systems, distribution technologies, as well as competencies in related technologies like virtualization and cloud architecture, bring the projects that he is involved in to a very rounded and successful launch. Since the early 20s, he is active in Africa and has been involved in ISP projects in Senegal, Ghana, Benin, Burkina Faso, the Congos, South Sudan, the ESC, and more. He has successfully launched WiMAX and LTA services for multiple operators, including Safaricom in Kenya and Liquid Telecom in Uganda and Kenya. And he has guided operators on core network migrations from one to another vendor and implemented a number of core systems, such as the OSS, authentication, monitoring platforms, so on and so forth. In his second life, Heiko loves traveling and being with nature, and therefore is often seen working with and helping rural ISPs, where he can fill in the knowledge gaps with telecom experience. I would like to invite Heiko to take us through his presentation. Heiko, your time.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, James, for the nice intro. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, colleagues. Welcome to the show. Now, as for my part, if you can hear me well, everything's all right. If I'm speaking too slow, too fast, too unclear, too German, let us know in the chat. Yeah, as said, James has said it. My name is Heiko. I'm representing a company called PYRAMITE, which is a integrator here in Kenya, in Nairobi, established since 2010. We mainly do telecom consulting, telecom integration, so that's rather for larger operators, as said, like for Safaricom, Liquid Telecom, etc. We mostly do core and distribution integrations. That means, carrier routing, switching, MPLS projects, everything which is in the core, in the distribution of operators towards their end users. And with that, we have gained a lot of experience in all those core distribution solutions, like from Juniper, Cisco, also MikroTik nowadays, some Huawei, in the core, in edge, in WAN solutions, optimization solutions, bandwidth management solutions, and also OSS billing, and that's a bit what we are talking today on. We have a lot of experience in Linux, so a lot of solutions we try to replicate. I come back to that shortly. We try to replicate using Linux scripting, buffer buckets, queuing algorithms, those kind of things. And related to that, we do a lot of custom in-house development towards the DevOps operations. So everything which is integrations, when a billing system has to talk with a router, or a financial system has to talk with the OSS, these kind of things. So we do a little bit of these integrations. We script them mostly. We also have custom-made modules, PHP, etc. So that's a little bit what we are talking about today. It's how to implement those billing systems and OSS systems, which are traditionally used by larger carriers, larger operators. And how do we get them to smaller operators? How can we replicate those features, those functions, which make a large telecom professional? How can we get those features to smaller operators, smaller ISPs, and even community networks? That's a little bit what we did the last 5, 6, 7 years, and especially since our pandemic, that there is so much home use and home office and school use of internet at every single home place. You want to offer a smooth internet experience for the end user, and that's what we are trying to help operators with, smaller operators, ISPs. For example, what we do a lot recently is, as smaller operators also grow larger, they need to clean up their network, going from pure L2-based distribution networks onto MPLS networks, but without spending millions. So we're trying to do, for example, MikroTik is a very good example for that. MPLS MikroTik is brilliant, works really, really nicely, and doesn't cost a dime. So we try to do a lot of these MPLS solutions on MikroTik. Or, for example, billing solutions. What an operator does is usually you have dedicated different server systems for different billing tasks. You have the prepaid systems and the quota bundle systems and the charging systems and the voice minute charging systems of an operator. Each of them is an expensive and standalone solution which talk to each other, but which each of them is a solution by itself. So we tried to bring that back into something very simple where all the features are present, but single box, simple to use, inexpensive, and fairly straightforward to implement. And that's what we, for example, do with Splings, where we initially took a lot of concepts from Porta 1, large billing system, took those concepts and also, replicated them basically in Splings. So point is, how can you make your network better with a billing system, or what systems can you use to make your network better? There's two aspects to that. You can make your network internally better so that you as a team, as a community network operator team, function better, smoother. So with that, your network will perform better, tasks will become faster, more efficient, easier to plan and design internally in the team. And you can do that also. You have to tune your network also so that your clients, the actual subscriber who's using your internet, is feeling that, so that he's feeling a better QoE, quality of experience of your network. How do you do that internally? Out of experience, try to automate as many tasks as possible of your daily routine. These are all sorts of, for example, billing tasks, sending invoices, sending reminders, maybe blocking unpaid customers or unblocking the ones which have paid, staying in touch with customers for downtimes, such things. Try to automate those tasks so that they become as much as possible off your daily workload, so that you can focus on R&D. Basically, that's one of those things. Next thing is also to automate. Why to automate is to reduce internal errors, so that you are doing less, that you're creating less of the problems yourself by, with configuration errors. Very simple on MikroTiks. Very simple to just click the wrong button and disconnect a customer or even a whole area. So try to automate those tasks, those configuration tasks. Then normally automation doesn't make a mistake if you set up the system properly. Also, track and log changes in your systems. So if somebody writes an email to a customer, traditionally somebody of the NOC writes that email to that single customer. Nobody else in the team is aware of that. Typical example, if you have a system or a platform where you have a centralized trouble ticket system, the rest of the team, NOC, would be aware of those emails because they would be logged centrally and accessible by everybody. So if that customer calls a second time with the same problem, the rest of the team is aware, and the customer doesn't have to explain his problem a second time. Very, very important. Big thing about quality of experience for the customer. Also goes in the same direction. Sync information between team members, so that if, I don't know, a customer lead is onboarded, that this information is available for the rest of the team, so that everybody knows, / the system, that there is a new customer, it's connected, and maybe, in the very beginning, if there's a downtime, that everybody knows that there is a customer, and that this can be, maybe somebody can call him and say, we have a downtime. So that these information are somewhere centrally present in a platform. Can be a billing system, can be an OSS, can be an Excel sheet in worst case. And that's how many people just start. Yeah, and that's the next point. Try to automate onboarding processes. So if you get a new customer on board, that whole onboarding experience is something which is very important for the customer. Customers are pretty much, it's like your first girlfriend. The first impression counts. So if you onboard a customer and he already gets a bad impression because there is no contact, he hadn't gotten an email, he doesn't know how to pay his bills, he doesn't know about his speeds, he don't know how to look at his bandwidth statistics and these kind of things. it's better, it's really good to have a good onboarding experience. So, you know, with a welcome mail, with an email which contains all the crucial information, the payment links, etc. Also a link to the trouble ticket system, the numbers of support and those kind of things. Onboarding, very important. Yeah, that's pretty much that. And at the same time, that's a little bit more human. If you do these professional approaches to customers, teach internal NOC members how to communicate with customers. There are trouble ticket systems which help you on that with so-called canned responses, basically snippets of text which are used to communicate with customers. These kind of things can be used. Fairly important to give a professional and, you know, say in French Africa, in a country where there is French speaking and your team is English speaking, and you have very bad communication because your team is not very aware of French responses, fairly important to use those canned responses so that at least the rough structure of the email is properly formatted, and that gives a good impression to the customer. Yeah, so that's a little bit what brings you to the next level as an rural ISP as you grow. Question is, how do you get to that? How do you achieve that? 2 points to that. First of all, if you run a centralized platform, something which tracks and logs and bills and receives payments and so on, if you run such a platform, what's crucial, it needs to be stable. It needs to be, it's a so-called business critical application. It needs to be available for everybody at any times. And we call that an underlying platform. And that's usually some systems, some servers running somewhere. Why I'm saying that is because as a rural ISP or as a rural community network, you might not be able to host a server reliably due to power cuts. Maybe your own internet connection is not that strong. So you might have to host that in the cloud. First option, underlying solutions can be hosted very well somewhere in the cloud. Ideally somewhere here on the continent, just to promote a little bit low latency links. But also there is AWS, there is DigitalOcean, there is Linode, there's Azure, there's all sorts of cloud operators which might be able to help you, at least in the beginning, to host your centralized platforms. That's important. Now, we as PYRAMITE, we built a small solution for that. We call that ISP in a box. It's basically a single box server. It's a local solution, locally hosted solution, and it runs on open source software. We use Proxmox for that. It contains a virtual router and virtual MikroTik. So you don't even have to buy a hardware MikroTik. It's part of that single server. It contains also Splinks as an OSS and billing platform, and it also contains a couple more servers for, you know, system services like DNS, NTP to offload your internet for fast responses on those system services, which are crucial for operators. Optionally, it can also run MPLS, so it can act as a PE, provider edge router into your multi-pop environment. And, you know, being virtual, you can add more functions to it. Maybe you need an email server or on cache or on DNS server, or can all be added. These things we do as PYRAMITE, but that's, you know, many operators have really good IT personnel, so you can basically just, you know, replicate that. Most of that is open source, doesn't cost you nothing except for the hardware, for the server itself. Yeah, we as PYRAMITE, we help sometimes in building such ISPs. We can help with an SLA packet where we can just say, okay, we guide you on the setup. We can do also turnkey, where we just sell you the whole solution and you become an ISP. We call that ISP in a box. Usually takes a week or two to get the whole ISP running, inclusive billing and OSS. Yeah, that's about that. Now, how do you do it? How do you set up your overlaying? That's now the overlay solution to bring those before mentioned comments about to get more professional services to your end user. How do you do it? How you make it? We have selected, we as PYRAMITE, we have selected Splinks for that a couple years ago. Pretty good success with that. Splinks basically is an OSS and a billing solution in one. So OSS, what's that? Operational support system. Basically, it talks with your network to implement changes which are either triggered by you, the admin, or the end user, or the system, the billing engine. So Splinks is such a solution. It's really a one-stop platform. And it's become quite popular for mid-size operators in the whole of basically everywhere. We have a whole bunch of customers in Ghana, many ISPs in Kenya, the East African community. It's became pretty popular for mid-size operators and ISPs, but now also for relatively small customers with, say, 100 subscribers, community networks. It really helps. What does it do? I'll just go through a bunch of main points which Splinks offers to you and the customers. It's a non-comprehensive list, so there is a lot more features which can be covered on a demo. I'll come back to that later. But let's just go through a couple of main points or features which Splinks offers you as an operator. First of all, we have a lead management solution. So it's part of Splinks, and basically what it does is it tries to onboard new customers. So before a customer is a customer, he's a lead. It's just somebody who has contacted either the customer has contacted you or you have contacted the customer. And we have a track system in Splinks which manages that, which, you can leave a notice who has been contacted, what are the contacts. There is a CRM part to it where you have all the phone numbers, email addresses of that lead, what has been done, any proposals sent to him, what he's interested in, what kind of tariff, what kind of service he wants, where he is, what about connectivity options towards him. Idea is that all these informations are on that centralized platform, so that maybe a month later or 2 months later, some other commercial guy from the operator can contact him. Or if he contacts you as an operator back, if he's getting some other guy on the phone, then that second commercial person can know what has been talked, what he's interested in. Fairly important. So this lead management will just help you to follow up on your leads before they are customers. We then can convert those leads to, either it's a lost lead, he didn't buy internet from you, or he didn't sign up, or we can convert him into a customer. So when we convert him in a customer, he is willing to buy internet. And with that, he enters the customer or the subscriber database. He gets his service assigned. And the next point to that is usually for fixed customer installations, somebody of the operator now has to go to his place and install a CPE, maybe some Ubiquiti wireless CPE, or triggers the installation of an GPON ONU, or an LTE CPE, or whatever it is. There will be, and that's the next feature of Splinks, there will be a scheduling action. There will be something to be scheduled. There needs to be a trigger which sends a technician out to the customer, and so that the actual installation of that customer is done. That scheduling system is part of Splinks. It even has an own small scheduling app, an Android app. You can just download on your phone. Technician has that, and the technician can update on the app what he's doing. He reached the place, he installed the CP, he got a signal. He can even upload commissioning reports with bandwidth speeds and these kind of things. And he can finish the onboarding process of the customer and then hands over the internet link to the customer, which has now all the information per email, welcome email, and just has this link without that any questions from the customer had to come. Once he is onboarded, next big feature of Splinks, he's in a billing cycle. He's usually can also do other billing cycles, but usually he's in a prepaid cycle where he pays for, say, a month, get that month of internet. If he doesn't, if he stops paying, if he's not recharging his account, he will be cut. Now, if I say cut, he's not actually cut. We will just redirect the customer to a redirect portal, which tells him that he has to connect and pay. Various methods, we get to that. But we are not cutting the customer as of no more internet. Usually can also be done. We just let the customer know that he has to pay and then he can't use internet until he did. But you're not cutting his link, because that's also that it's basically a problem. Many customers don't know that they didn't pay and they think now it's a problem. Connection is cut, and we'll call support for that. So there's next thing. We have all these billing features which are very flexible on Splings, and we can send notifications, we can send emails, we can send reminders for notifications, even more of them. We can do that with SMS, we can do that with email, we can do that with, for example, in custom integration, we just do now with Telegram. It's another option for those which don't have cell service and still want an, SMS wide coverage. Yeah, that's the billing solution. Then what we also do is we integrate a lot of we integrated a lot of payment gateways. In Kenya, of course, that's M-Pesa, whereas the customer has a simple way to pay here for his invoices. Kenya, for example, we integrated push payments. I think this is now also available for a bunch more operators like MTN in Congo. I saw that popping up. Whereas a customer does just get a payment notification and request on his phone and just enters his service PIN and the service continues. So it goes as far as you want. We've integrated a lot of those payments. And important, very important even, that your customers have a easy way to pay. If it's available, payment systems, if it's available to pay via some e-wallet a la M-Pesa, preferable. If not, we still have other payment methods. We can even use a voucher system, whereas you sell vouchers in some agreed shops to customers, and those vouchers simply represent an amount of money which he then uses to top up his account. And that deposit platform is then used by the billing engine to debit the next recharge. That's also working. We also have a small application. We call that Cash Desk. It's basically a register where you can give some shops in the vicinity, in the reach of the rural community, where you can give those shops a small application. They install it or they use it. It's actually a PHP web app to receive payments for your customers. So it's a little bit of it's the same concept than M-Pesa. I don't know if how far M-Pesa in the rest of Africa is known. But the idea is that you have a reseller system, whereas the resellers get a little bit something out of the work they do for you because they collect your customers' money in your name. So Splings has that for those areas where you don't have e-payment systems. You can still use that cash desk system to collect your payments. The last one of the important features is a trouble ticket system. We have a complete trouble ticket system included. That's actually we as Splings, as company, if we deal with our customers, we use the same trouble ticket systems with you. So it's really a powerful system. Trouble ticket system fully integrated with email, fully integrated with the Splings platform. So we also have a customer care portal, whereas those tickets are also displayed, or where some customers can raise one, or customers just send an email. If that email is recognized by the system, we dispatch it to the right NOC guy, and he can get in touch with the customer and fix the issue, and it's tracked and logged. What else do we have? Nice monitoring and graphing solution. Monitoring and graphing, first of you, for you as the operator, just to be able to maintain your own system, to see where bottlenecks are, what are your top 10 customers, who's consuming all the bandwidth, maybe who's trying to consume bandwidth but doesn't get it through. these kind of graphing. That's for the admin, we have that, but also for the customer himself. Again, on the self-care portal for the customer, he can look at his bandwidth, 3 different ways to that. He can look at that in real time, just a graph in real time right now, not a 5-minute statistic. It's really real time. It's now works with MikroTik. Then a second one is a daily graph. That's the one we all know with RRD tool. And thirdly, we can have a look at the quotas. Say bandwidth per day, basically. How many gigabytes did I as a customer consume? So all that is integrated in a self-care portal. We can also raise alerts with that. So if network elements go down, say a router, an access point, or whatever distribution system, backhauling system, a fiber link, we can create alerts on that and send email notifications to the NOC so that we react. Lots more possibilities around that. Even there is a network weather map where you can visualize your network in a picture and see where are my links which are most utilized. Where do I reach 100% of capacity? Maybe an MPLS link which you buy from as a lease line from an operator, and you want to know what is my usage on that in a very simple way without going through routers. What else do we have? Working on an ACS system, TR69, to commission CPEs. That is pretty much released, but it's to be refined a little bit. So in the next month or two, I think we are going to release it. With that, you can auto-commission CPEs. Very interesting for LTE ISPs in the rural communities. It's interesting for MikroTik CPEs, which has an TR69 client. And with that, you can auto-configure those CPEs. So you take them out of the stock, you just look at the MAC address, you type that in, and when the CPE comes up, it auto-commissions itself for the right ESSID if it's a Wi-Fi access point, the username and password for PPPoE, and all these things. ACS, coming soon. IP address management, big thing for a lot of rural ISPs, which still do static assignments. We do an IPAM, so all the IP address management is managed, and with that, we avoid IP conflicts. A lot more things. I'm told I have to speed up a little bit, so let me just brief through that last part. One big thing is we have an API. So for you guys who are developers, you can develop around Splinks with an open API. It doesn't cost anything. Basically, the whole idea, the result of all those integrations using Splinks is that that the platform should ease your tasks. It should enable you to not have daily tasks. All those should be automated. And with that, you are seen by your customer as a very professional ISP, and a very professional ISP creates an happy client. That's the whole point. Now, for those of you who want to see Splinks in action, we have a demo platform in the internet. Just give me a shout. I'll give you a link. You log in, you try it out yourself. You can also run a trial on your site. You can play around a little bit with it for free, and if you like it, you subscribe. Yeah, as for my part, that's it for PYRAMITE and Splinks. Thanks a lot for your attention. Thanks a lot for ISOC for giving us the opportunity for that speech. And with that, back to James. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heiko, for that presentation. And as he has already mentioned, he is going to make available, I think, his email. You can be able to reach out to him so that you can be able to ask for a demo link to Splinks. I think that is very important to really appreciate what Splinks is all about, and probably would see a number of community networks out there being able to adopt Splinks as a billing solution. So please do reach out to him and get to have that demo. Thank you so much for that, Heiko. These delegates, I'd like to thank you I would like to thank all the presenters today and all of you for your active participation. And I would like to open this session for a final round of discussion with all the panelists. I know there have been a number of questions that have been posted in the chat, most of which we have not been able to, panelists have not been able to respond to. We can be able to go back to those, but otherwise you're welcome to post new questions in there. You're also welcome to you're also welcome to raise your hand. Just to mention that the function for raising your hand is available in the reactions. Down there, there is a button for reactions. Press there, and then you should be able to raise your hand, and then you can be able to ask your question. And then after that, yeah, we'll take it from there. But hopefully you can be able to ask a question to an individual speaker, or you can provide a general comment or a general question so that each speaker may be able to respond to. I'm opening the session for questions now. Maybe while we are waiting for people to push in more questions or raise their hands, I can go back to some of the area. I think there was some area questions that I can be able to go back to and then just check if at all have been responded to. Verengai, can you assist me looking at the questions if all the questions have been responded to, the area ones? Otherwise, I want to focus on checking if at all there is any hands being raised to people to engage with the discussion. So I think
yes, James,
yeah, go on, Barrack.
There's one question, I think from a participant who wants to understand if there are any use cases out there for community networks using MNOs, mobile money, and I think probably the colleagues touched on it, but if they may want to expand or to also give some examples.
Maybe.
Yep, thank you so much, Verengai. Yes, Barrack, you would want to respond to that, or you want to?
Yes, let me make an attempt at responding, and I'll just try to share some of our experiences. One, as it is, we are actually running 3 billing solutions, and not because we want to, but circumstances have brought us to that. And I think that's why I'm going back to the first point that if you don't clarify your needs from the onset, sometimes you may find that other considerations will clarify your needs or will force you to adopt systems and solutions that you may not need. For instance, when we started off, we weren't very clear on public hotspots or providing public Wi-Fi. And so we realized down the line that the bespoke solution that we had developed, we were not able to develop a billing solution for public hotspots around it. Furthermore, we were running like almost, or rather we have part of the community network on fixed LTE and part of it on hub and spoke. For fixed LTE, it was a bit easy because the stations are independent, but for hub and spoke, incorporating public hotspots meant that we had to sort of reconfigure the entire network, something that Heiko has touched on. And we looked at the potential risks, and we decided just to take off the public hotspot infrastructure from the core hub and spoke network and have it as independent infrastructure on its own. And we also had to figure out a billing solution around that. So I'm just sharing this weak point as something that we didn't capture from the word go. For community networks, financial considerations are key. In as much as we get donations, it takes money to run networks. And so we have to figure out how to raise money. In as much as we are discussing billing solutions have to be maintained. In fact, I'm seeing a question here that is very appropriate. The upsurge of cloning digital payment systems. We have to make sure that our billing solutions are secure, they are stable, they are reliable. And so this has to go into the architecture when we are thinking about it. So I didn't mention this from the beginning, but for us, our billing solution sits on the cloud. We figured because of the way the network is spread out in different parts of the community, it would be easy to access it from different points on the cloud. And that's an important consideration. The other question that was raised was the issue of integration with mobile money payment solutions. I've also seen some solutions other than what Heiko has presented being shared here. But again, our decision to go for WHMCS or WHMCS as the platform that we would build our billing solution around it was because we felt that at least we had access to competence that would enable us to be able to maintain the platform and also to make sure that we secure it against any attacks. And we have also found that it's easy to integrate it not only with the mobile money payment solutions, but with various SMS payment gateways and email. Over time, we have also sort of built a ticketing system into the WHMCS platform that we use, which we use to organize tasks or to organize work around it. So I would say that there are many components to the billing platforms that need to be captured from a business perspective. Just looking at the Splinks website after Heiko's presentation, there's an aspect of ticketing, there's an aspect of payment gateways, there's an aspect of inventory management, there's an aspect of scheduling and calendars, and then there's the Radius server, where now it interfaces with the network, and then there are APIs. So I think the lesson is, let's not look at billing as a product per se. There are so many components that as community networks, we need to figure out how we are going to manage them before we bring all this together into a billing solution that then answers the needs of our organizations as community networks. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Barrack. And I can already see in the chat that Heiko has also responded to say very that the question by Victor has also been answered. I would want to check with Stephen. Stephen, if you'd be able to, if you can be able to respond to the question from your experience, the question by Victor. His question is, lately there's been an upsurge in cloning digital payment systems. How are CNs insulating their operations from these attacks? So like for you, in terms of your community network that you've built, how are you ensuring that you are protecting it from these attacks? If you can share that experience.
Yeah, thank you. With our, I think we have put a lot of measures to ensure getting attacked from, intruders. So what we do is that actually we don't host our own outside. It's hosted locally. That is, we host it at on our community network. So what's happening is that with the payment gateway that was integrated, we use only API, but the complete app is hosted, but the payment system or the payment gateway or how they manage to pay is not on the premises. That is we are using third-party API to do the payment.
Okay, great. So that might be a potential solution. All attendees, I think reaching this far, being mindful of time, I would like to close this session. I would like to thank all the speakers once more for the wonderful work, and all the attendees for your engagements, the Community Network Summits Program Committee for all the work that they've done in terms of planning this event and actually implementing this session. I also like to thank the technical support team in the background, and also the organizers, that's Internet Society, but also the Association for Progressive Communications. Please be informed that all the presentations that have been made will be made available on the event page in the next 7 days. Please do check back there for these inspiring and informative presentations. With these remarks, it brings us to the end of the session today, and we really look forward to your participation in future events. Thank you so much.